So what my opponents have failed to do is actually state what the Patriot Act is here to do so. And I went ahead of the bill and actually state the quote that says, "The Patriot Act facilitates information sharing and cooperation among government agencies so they can better connect the dots." Which means that if we are under surveillance of any sort of attack, we're able to attract that information that will keep us from making that issue a bigger issue. Another another quote from the U.S. Patriot Act says, it allows law enforcement to use surveillance against more crimes for terror. Which means that now that we're being surveilled, again, we will behave, we will try to live a life where we're not going to be incriminating other people, although it will facilitate the observation of terrorist attacks and other terrorist people. So, in a study from the Stanford University says, as most people are law-abiding citizens, most obstinately will not be targeted for surveillance, and it will not impact their lives, while making their lives more comfortable and safer throughout the elimination of criminals. What this means is that, just like you and I don't believe that you're a terrorist, although in the world that we live today, we need to be aware that that's a possibility. But if you're not doing anything wrong, if you're not searching for any type of explosive recipe, or if you're not searching of how to hack into the NSA or anything like that, you should not worry about the surveillance. Because they're just doing their job and they're just surveilling you for you to be safe, for ensure national security. So let's go ahead and examine some of the workability claims. So, the removal or lack of security cameras will result in a higher crime rate. The use of security cameras should decrease the high crime rate. I found a article in HomelandSecurityNews.com that says, in August of 2003, Chicago authorities installed cameras in Humboldt Park and West Greenfield Park, highly conspicuous areas with flashing blue lights on the top. Prior to the installations of the camera, Humboldt Park had experienced a brief spike in crime. Nearly 500 reports indicates in a single month. But after the cameras were put in place, it dropped 20% for the following month and stayed low. What this means is that when people are being observed and when people are being under a camera, they'll know they're being surveilled, which means that they'll fear the consequences because it's going to be recorded. And I went ahead and have some more quotes. I found this one in a article in the webpage realup.com. It says, facial recognition software has improved greatly over the years, which means that if a person caught on camera committing a crime, the chances of them being caught is much higher. What this means is that with the modern technology that we have, the facial recognition will be able to adapt to your face and see who the person who committed the crime is. I have another quote from the same article that says, any footage that is on a surveillance camera that captures a crime being committed can be used in court of law as evidence against the accused. In some cases, if there were no footage, there will be a little or no evidence to convict the person of the crime, and individuals may go free. Those night vision security cameras feature good and long-range night vision that robbers can be recognized even if they're committing the crime in a dark area. So, be it the park, be it the Walmart parking lot, all these cameras are just surveilling and ensuring that we will maintain a peaceful mindset and a peaceful environment. Another interesting quote that I got from an article from Bergening Hines called Life in the Fishbowl said, if surveilling recordings were stored for later analysis, other types of crimes could be eradicated as well, because preparators would fear later discovery of punishment. We could expect crimes such as low-level corruption to vanish because bribes will become previous, because they will know that they're being caught on camera, which means that they will not do the crime. Let's go and examine some of my disadvantage arguments, which my claim says the lack of restriction of surveillance for government agencies will enable terrorist plots. Poor restriction will cause the terrorist rates to increase. In the recent years, these programs together with other intelligence, have protected the United States and other alleles from terrorist threats across the globe, to include helping prevent the potential terrorist events of 50 times since 9/11. So thank you to the Patriot Act, we have been able to diminish 50 cases of terrorist plots, terrorist attacks that will attack America. That's 50. If you see what one can cause in 9/11, how it united us in a way that we never felt before, imagine what 50 can do to us. It would not be a very peaceful manner in the way that we live life. So let's go ahead and follow from that. 62% of Americans say that it's more important for the government to investigate possible terrorism threats, and even that intrudes on personal privacy. What this means is that 62% of Americans feel okay with being surveilled because it will ensure a peaceful environment for all of us. Any terrorist who doesn't think they're under constant surveillance is an amateur. Effective terrorism aren't stupid. The 2001 terrorist attack proved that. The truly dangerous ones know that they are under constant surveillance and take steps to avoid detection. Any would be a Haddad who uses their mobile phone to explicitly make plans to destroy America is probably not a danger because we're being surveilled, and because we're being surveilled, we can achieve that peaceful and mindful settlement. So with that, we can go on to the rebuttals.